Eleanor traced the name etched into the cool, gray stone. David. The word was a whisper on her lips, a familiar comfort. For the past year, this had been their spot. Her lunch break wasn't spent in a bustling cafe or a quiet office, but here, under the shade of an old oak tree, beside the man she still loved with every fiber of her being. She unpacked her basket, the same one they used for their first picnic date so many years ago. A simple cheese and pickle sandwich for herself, and a small thermos of black coffee, just how he liked it. She'd pour a little into a cup for him, setting it carefully on the edge of the headstone. It was a ritual, a small act of devotion that kept him close, that made the silence less deafening. The new intern, Sarah, she's a handful, Eleanor began, her voice soft, as if sharing a secret. You'd find her hilarious. She tried to make coffee this morning and flooded the break room. Total chaos. She chuckled, the sound a little rusty. She'd talked to him about her day, about the garden, about the silly cat next door who thought her flower beds were its personal litter box. It was one-sided, of course, but it felt like a conversation. It felt like home. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The seasons changed around them. The vibrant greens of summer gave way to the fiery oranges of autumn, then the stark, beautiful white of winter, and finally, the hopeful pastels of spring. Through it all, Eleanor and her picnic basket were a constant. The cemetery groundskeeper, a kind old man named Mr. Henderson, would give her a gentle nod from a distance, respecting her private lunches. She was a fixture, as much a part of the landscape as the ancient willows that wept by the pond. One bright Tuesday, something was different. As she approached their spot, she saw it. Propped against David's headstone, right where she always left his coffee, was a second plate. It was a simple, chipped ceramic plate, not hers. On it sat half a blueberry muffin. Eleanor froze, her heart hammering against her ribs. Her first thought was that she'd interrupted someone. She scanned the cemetery, but it was empty. Save for Mr. Henderson trimming a hedge far in the distance. She cautiously stepped closer. Who would do this? Was it a prank? It felt too gentle for a prank. She looked at the headstone itself and gasped. There, just below his name, were a few tiny crumbs. To some, dark sugary kind from the muffin. It was as if, ... as if someone had been eating there. Her logical mind screamed that it was impossible. It was probably a bird, or the wind. But her heart, the part of her that still held daily conversations with her husband, whispered a different story. She set down her own lunch, her hands trembling slightly. She looked at the half-eaten muffin, then back at the name on the stone. A slow smile spread across her face. The first genuine, unburdened smile in a year. Blueberry, she whispered, a tear tracing a path down her cheek. You always did have a sweet tooth, didn't you, my love? From that day on, her picnics changed. She still brought her own lunch, but she also started bringing an extra treat. Sometimes a slice of apple pie, other times a chocolate chip cookie. And every so often, when she arrived, she'd find a little sign waiting for her. A wildflower she'd never seen before tucked into the grass. A uniquely shaped stone placed just so. And sometimes, just sometimes, a few telltale crumbs left on the plate. She never knew who her mysterious picnic partner was. Maybe it was a kind stranger. Maybe it was just a series of happy coincidences. Or maybe, just maybe, it was David's way of telling her that even though they were separated by an impossible distance, love always finds a way to share a meal. And for Eleanor, that was more than enough. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more stories that explore the connections that bind us. We'll see you next time.